All right, so today I'm going to talk about fractional expressions. This is a part of the algebra, right? It's part of the algebra. And remember fractions, well, we know how to do add fractions, add two fractions together, how to multiply them out, right? Do you know the formulas for them, okay? Fractions. Well, add two fractions or do subtraction for the two fractions. As long as they have a common denominator. Now we have to deal with the variables. We're not going to use the specific numbers, right? So we will begin with the numbers first, okay? Like 3 over 2 plus 1 over 3, right? Because they have a common denominator. So then you get 2 plus 1, so the numerator will be 3 over 3. It's great, just equal to 1, okay? Now, formula, okay? If we something called formula, we are not going to have a specific numbers there. So if a fraction we denote by a over b, right? And then another one will be like a c over b, then both have the same denominator. Then you add them together, just b is a plus c. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if you have answers, you type answers in the chat window, okay? I will ask you that, not right now, okay? You just pay attention to start, okay? And then, now, if you do not have a common denominator, how can you find the formula? If you forgot the formula, let's find out. First of all, let's take a look at the problem. I turn this upside down, 3 over 2, okay? And then maybe I use 5 over 3, something like that, okay? So if we add this together, right, we know they do not have a common denominator. So therefore, we have to make them have a common denominator. How do you do that? Well, the fraction, right, you're missing here is to multiply by 3 and multiply 3. And the second one have to multiply by 2, the denominator. The numerator also multiply by 2, okay? So therefore, okay, now you have a common denominator. So the common denominator is 6, right? And so this is a 6, here's a 9, here's 10 over 6, right? Yeah, 10 over 6. Then you add them together, it's 9 plus 10, so it'll be 19 over 6. Okay, 19 over 6 is the correct answer. Alex says 16 over 3. Okay, I don't know how to get this. Okay, so the same idea, we're going to derive the formula. Okay, same idea, we're going to do the formula. It's a over b plus c over d, right? So b and d are different in general, okay? That represent some numbers, but we're not going to specify them. Okay, is there anyone who can express as combine one fraction? Okay, can you do that? You represent numbers by variables. Represent number by variables. Okay, I'll give you a half minute to think about. Okay, so let's derive the formula. All right, let's derive the formula. So you wanted to make a common denominator, right? So you put b, then I multiply by d. Okay, multiply by d. So put a d here, put a d here, right? Then 8, and this is d and the c. So I want to make them have a common denominator, right? So I needed to put a b here and b here. Okay, so you can cancel b, then you get back c over d, right? Yeah. Okay, now you have common denominator. So therefore, you will get a b and a d, and the ad plus bc. So that's what we get. Ad plus bc. Okay, great. Rebecca give me already, Rebecca Lee. Okay. All right, so this is how do we get. So next time we will, how do you memorize it? Okay, how to memorize it? B and the D is just multiply this out, right? B times D. Then for the numerator, you use a cross product. We call it AD and the BC, AD plus BC. So next time, if I memorize this formula, then I can do the computation quickly. You know, like a 3/2 plus 7/3, right? Then what I'm going to do is 2 times 3, then the cross product is 3 times 3 plus 2 times 7. Okay, and then I have a 6 here, I have a 9 here, and here 14. So then 9 plus 14, and here's 23/6. This is how do we get an answer. Okay, so we call the formula. Okay, and if there's minus sign, then you do the same way. Okay, minus sign is A/B minus C/D, and then here the denominator is BD, and then you have an AD minus BC instead of plus BC. All right, yeah, most of them are easy for you, great. All right, so how about the multiplication? A/B times, now times, so usually we use a dot, okay? We don't use a cross because it looks like if handwriting is like being, it will be easy to make you be confused. There's so it looks like X, so we use a dot, okay? And C and D, and this is just A times C and B times D, okay? That's another formula, okay? All right, finally, we're going to get, it's a divide, right? Divide C of D, a fraction divided by a fraction. Okay, a fraction divided by a fraction, you can change it to the multiplication. And this also can be written like A/B and C/D, okay? A division can be written as a fraction. So this will be A/B when divided by C/D, it's the same as multiplied by D/C, turn this upside down, right? And then this got the ADBC. Okay, so those are the 3 formulas. Basically, this is one formula and 2 formula, 3 and the 4. Those are the 4 formulas. Okay, so next time if we see, like a 2/3 divided by 7/3, right? What do? You can say 2/3 times 3/7, and then it's a multiplication, so it's 2, 3, 3, 7. So 3, 3 cancelled out. It'll be 2/7. Okay. But most of the time, we're not always deal with the numbers. Okay, mixed up numbers and the variables. Okay, so let's look at the following problem. We want to simplify x over x minus 1 minus 1. Okay, so look at this, x over x minus 1 minus 1. Okay, I'm going to show you this, and then later I'll ask you to do the problem, another problem. Right? Now, this one, the first one is a fraction, second one is just 1. Right? But 1 can be also viewed a fraction. Actually, it's easy to, 1 can be written as anything over the same, right? So you want to make a common denominator, and that is going to be x minus 1 over x minus 1. Now they have the common denominator. I did not use above formula, I just make them have a common denominator. And then you get x minus 1, the numerator is the difference of the 2 numerators. It will be x minus 1. Then all you have to do is simplify the numerator. How do you do that? So that would be 1 times x minus x, 1 times negative 1 positive. And x canceled out. The answer will be 1 of x minus 1. Okay, after you simplify. All right. All right. I want you to do the next one. Okay. I hope you are able to simplify it. Okay. Simplify a over a minus b minus a over a plus, a over a plus minus 1, a over a plus 1. All right, please work on this. All right. Look at this. Look at the difference of these two fractions that do not have a common denominator. Right? Can you simplify it? Well, you can use a formula, right? The formula says that it will be product of the denominator, two denominators, right? Then the difference of the cross product, right? A times A plus 1 minus A minus 1 times A, okay? All right, so all you have to do is simplify the numerator. Now, wow, Rebecca, you got 0. Definitely it's not 0 because the first term is not equal to the second term, obvious. Right? The difference 0 means the first term is equal to the second term, and it's obvious they're not equal. Okay, so let's try to simplify the numerator. Okay, who can simplify the numerator? The denominator, you can keep it like that, okay? Let me correct. All right, how do you do that, right? A times A, it's A squared. A times 1 plus A, that's the first part. The second part is the A times A squared. A times negative 1, negative A. Okay. Now when you do the homework, right? When you do the homework, you have to show all the necessary steps. And then you remove the parenthesis. So A squared plus A minus A squared and the plus A. Okay, A squared, X squared canceled out. Then you get 2A and A minus 1, A plus 1. That's it. You don't need to multiply that out. The numerator looks fine to me as a denominator. Right? You said A squared, obviously you don't know. Eric. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's try a simple one. Okay. So combine them into one fraction. Okay. How about this? Can you do that? You should do that, Eric. Yeah, let's work on this. Okay, combine them into one fraction. Anyone? Anyone can write down the fractions? Yeah, Rebecca, use a fraction, use a parenthesis for the numerator. Okay, because you have to type in this way, backslash this means, yeah, usually type parenthesis y minus x, parenthesis over x times y. Oh, we have different answers. Yeah, and it's not a final answer. That's probably correct step. Yeah, you make them have a common denominator, but you should combine into one fraction, not just a difference of two fractions still. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, let's look at how the Andrea did, okay? So you see, you try to make a common denominator, just repeat, we're not gonna use a formula, we make a common denominator. So you put the y here, then you have a y, right? Then you have a here, you need to put x here, then the numerator is x times 1. So just x. Yeah. So yeah, Eric could say you cannot go further. Now you have a common denominator. Of course you can go further. You can put them into one, combine them into one fraction. The numerator here is y minus x, the difference of two numerators. This is what I have to do. Now, if you type if you want to type it, on the screen, then this is the only way you can type. Yeah, put the parenthesis there. Okay. Otherwise, y minus x is not they're not together. Right. Great. Yes. So you can go further, Erica. Right. Okay. Right. So now I'm going to make slight difference. Okay. Combine them into one fraction. I just call it simplify. Okay. So here's a y over x and x over y. Slightly more difficult. Okay. Can you do that? You can use a formula. Okay, everybody who attend the class should try. Okay, if you have answers, give me the answers. Okay, Alex, Gu, okay, Gabriel, okay, Gao, okay, Essen, Zhang. Jessica, no, she gave me the answer right now. Okay, so let me show you how to do it. Now you can use a formula. Okay, the formula is a much quicker way to do. Okay, the formula. Okay, oops, where's my file? Let's go here. All right. So using the formula, so the first one is a product of two denominators. Okay, then the cross product, the difference. So y times y is y squared. X times x is x squared. Then just one step, right? Just one step, okay? Alex, your type, the notation is wrong. You should type one parenthesis y squared minus x squared, then of xy if you have to type like that, okay? Yeah. Okay, that means y squared minus x squared, they're all together in the numerator. Okay. If you write down the this expression on the white loaded paper, if you just want to occupy one line, then you use a parenthesis y squared minus x squared parenthesis backslash x over xy. If you have two lines, then you can write y squared minus x squared over x times y. Okay, so it depends on how much space do you have. Good. Okay, so here's another one. Simplify 1 over n minus 1 over n plus 1. Now, which one is larger? The first one is larger, so your answer will be a positive number, okay? Try this. You don't need to multiply this out, right, for the denominator. You can express as a product of two terms. But how about the numerator? What you can get for the numerator? Combine them into one fraction. Yeah, put a question mark here and n plus 1. And this is very useful formula. We can use that to solve other problems. Okay, what you can get. So the numerator, Rebecca says 1, but why you change your mind? It's not why you have to say oops. Okay, if you the complex, yeah. Right, and let's see what we can get. So apply the formula as a product of a two denominator. Then you have n plus 1 times 1 minus n times 1. So the numerator will be n plus 1 minus n. N plus 1 minus n is just only 1 left, right? Okay, so we got a wonderful identity, and this is a very useful identity. Okay, this will be useful identity. Okay, you can write n squared plus n. It's okay. Yeah, but we keep it as product. Okay. Yeah, maybe you can write n squared plus n. That's no problem. Okay. All right. So let's see. Compute the following expression. Okay. Here's the following expression. This is going to be 1 over 1 times 2 and 1 over 2 times 3, 1 over 3 times 4 plus 1 over 4 times 5. And this last year, 2020 and 2021. Now, how many terms do you have? 2020 terms. Can you add them together? Can you add them together? I let you think about, okay? Anyone have answers now? Eric, have answers now? Okay. So how do we do this problem? Okay, so above formula is a hint. Okay, so we use this. So in order to simplify it, we make it a little bit more complicated. And see, using above formula, go backward. It's 1 over 1 times 2 is 1 over 1 minus 1 over 2, right? And the 1 over 2 times 3 is 1 over 2 minus 1 over 3. And this will be 1 over 3 minus 1 over 4, right? And keep going. And that's when 2020 minus 2021. Okay. Wow, Essen already figured out. Great. All right. So now what do you get? After you remove the parentheses, all those terms in the middle cancel out. So your answer is 1 minus 1 over 2021. Help, okay. So right, then you combine them. You know, it's going to be 2021. 2021 minus 1 is going to be 2020. It's almost equal to 1. This is a number. Okay, so many small numbers adding together, it's almost equal to 1. Okay. Okay, great. Yeah. All right. Before we do the next problem, let's go over some formulas. X plus y squared is going to be x squared plus y squared plus 2xy. Or you can write 2xy in the middle. Okay. Then x minus y squared is going to be x squared plus y squared minus 2xy. Okay, so we will use this over and over again, you know, this type of formulas. Okay, in particular, x plus 1 squared is x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, x minus 1 squared will be x squared minus 2x plus 1. Another important formula is x minus 1 times x plus 1 is going to be x squared minus y squared. Right, so that's all. So now let's look at the next one. Simplify x plus 1 over x minus 1 minus x minus 1 over x plus 1. Okay, so try this, okay? I hope you can simplify. Can you figure out the numerator? Yeah, the numerator. The denominator is x minus 1 times x plus 1. So what is the numerator? After you simplify. Okay, I'll wait for you to give me the answer. Olivia Song. I haven't heard from you yet. Oh, Hannah. Okay, so you needed to show step by step. Okay, so that then they do not have a common denominator. It can make them have a common denominator.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment.
Oh my God.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement, but we quickly realized we needed a way to.
Where did this come from, your voice? Okay. Erica, you say 0? I said it cannot be 0 because the two terms are different. Two terms, 0 means the left term equals to right term. Yeah, Essen, you did good. Okay. So you can use Yeah, Rebecca, you can simplify the numerator. Yeah. Okay. So you do have a, use a common, use a formula. You can use a formula, right? The denominator is a product of those two terms. Then the numerator will be x plus 1 square minus x minus 1 square, right? So that's what Rebecca got. Yeah. Okay. Then you simplify it. Yeah, then you simplify it. Okay. Simplify the numerator. If you don't simplify it, this is what you got. Alex, you also got the same thing. Okay. So you have to simplify it. I already mentioned a couple formulas above, right? So x minus 1, x plus 1. So x plus 1 square will be x squared plus 2x plus 1, right? And then x minus 1 square will be x squared minus 2x plus 1. Then you remove the parenthesis. Okay. Then you remove the parentheses. So you get x squared plus 2x plus 1, then minus x squared and plus 2x minus 1. Why minus 1? Because negative, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay. Then you will see, oh, x squared is gone. Then you also see 2x, no, 2x cannot be gone, right? 2x, you get 4x. Okay. And the negative 1, positive 1 is gone. So the numerator will be 4x, x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay. So how about this one? Write it as a single fraction. Express 1 over AB plus 1 over AC plus 1 over BC as a single fraction. Oh, Ethan. Sorry, Ethan. Sorry for apologize. Ethan. Ethan, you're doing good. Okay, now focus on this problem. All right, thank you, Jessica. It's wonderful. Now we focus on the next problem. All right, anyone has a well, you're just trying to make a common denominator. How do you make them have a common denominator? How to make them have a common denominator? Well, just have an ABC, right? So let me write down this first. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the red column. Okay. In order to make a common denominator, I put a C here. Then I put B here. And put A here, right? Right, Eric? Watch out. Yeah. So now you have a common denominator. It's simpler than the computer games. Come on, right? So A, B, C, right? So now you get A, B, C, and you write the C plus B plus A. That's it. That's so simple. Right. Right. If they have the three terms, they have both have a, if they all of them have the common denominator, just add the numerators together. Right, Alex, right? So of course you can always write them order, you know, A first, B second, C first, and yeah, A plus B plus C over A times B times C. Yes, okay, great. Yeah, Jessica, if you have to write the, in this way, you have to put a parenthesis for the numerator, okay? Remember, yeah, if you want to write the expression in one single line, then you have to write like this, A plus B plus C backslash A, B, C, okay? All right. The next one. Yeah. Express. Yeah, it looks simple. Yeah, Ethan. Okay. So express A over X Y squared plus B over X squared Y as a single fraction. Right? A single fraction. Okay. So I'll let you to try first. You don't need to use the formula we learned, otherwise you have to do lots of simplification. So you just make them have a common denominator. Then add them the two numerators together when they have the common denominator. Wow, good. Rebecca Lee. James answers. Cool. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, let me copy this, right? Okay. I'm gonna use a red pen. Look at the two sides. Okay, x squared, xy squared, x squared y. So in order to have a common denominator, I need to put the x here, but then I get x squared. Then I have to put the y here, right? Right. So now you have a common denominator. You have ax, x squared y squared, and the by and x squared y squared. So now you have x squared y squared. This is a common denominator. Okay. Yeah. So then you have the common denominator x squared y squared. then ax plus by. So my answer matches Rebecca's answer. Okay, and yeah, Alex also gave me the same answer. That's cool. Okay. Okay. So now let's take a look at some fractions over fractions. Okay. Remember, a over b, c over d. That's a fraction over fraction. Will be a over b times d over c. Turn this upside down. Then it will be ad and bc, right? Okay, so how about just special case, a over b just divided by c? You see, c can be viewed as a fraction, c over 1. So that's why it's just simply get, a over b, c over 1, right? So then turn upside down, 1 over c, then just a over bc. So basically you just move c to the denominator of a over b. Yeah. And then another one is a over b over c. How about this, right? And this one is a number, it's not fraction, right? So this will be a times c over b. So it'll be ac over b, okay? Good, thank you, Eric. Okay. Okay, so now it's time to do the next problem. It's time to do the next problem, simplifying. 1 of x minus 1 of y over x times y. X on the x times x minus y. Okay, so let's try to simplify this. So I'm going to show you how to do this part first, then I'll let you to do some similar other problems. All right, so first of all, let's work on the numerator. The numerator will be, combine them, right? 1 of x minus 1 y will be x times y, y minus x, because it's a cross product, right? Okay, so it's a fraction over fraction. So this will be y minus x over x times y, and then divided by x minus y. So you put x minus y in the denominator of y minus x over x times y. Then you're trying to simplify. The numerator looks like, it's y minus x. The denominator is x minus y. Y minus x minus y is different by a negative sign. So the numerator will be negative x minus y, and the x times x minus y. Okay, if you express in this way, then that cancels out, and you get negative over x times y. You see, it's pretty simple. Now this is a basic algebra skill. You have in 5th grade and 6th grade. If you know how to do this type of problem, you're already great. Okay. And I give you an example. There are many students do not have such good knowledge in algebra. Okay, you can test it. One day if you walk to the campus of a university, you randomly stop a college student, ask him to simplify the expression. Some of them will give you wrong answers. Okay, you're not surprised. Okay, so I hope you fully understand this type of algebra before you move on. Okay, to the next level. Okay, but so let's try the next one. Okay, the next one is slightly different. Okay, simplifying x minus y over 1 of x minus 1 of y. Okay, I want you to try. Anyone can show me the answer? Variable subtract is hard. Erika says subtraction is hard. Just come on. One, okay, you have to work on this part, right? All right. So first of all, what is 1 of x minus 1? We did it many times. It is going to be y minus x over x times y, right? Right? So then what? Then what? So x minus y over 1 minus x minus 1 over y, and divide by 1 minus x over x times y. So it's fractions over fractions, numbers of fractions. Can you simplify this now? Yes or no? Right? So this is in the denominator, right? So what you can do is x times y times, turn this upside down. So xy over y minus x. Then you have to do some simplification. X minus y over y minus x. I told you, x minus y times y. The denominator can be written as negative x minus y. So just cancel it out. The answer is just next x times y. Okay. All right. And now the next one. Simplify x plus h squared minus x squared divided by h. Okay. Can you do this? Okay, the new denominator is already very simple. Just trying to work on the numerator. Okay. Anyone have answers now? Ethan, Rebecca. Jessica, Andrea. Wow, Rebecca gave me the answer. Great, great. Thank you. Yeah, denominator is h, yes. Denominator is h, not n. So I said H, okay? They're both H. Right, someone gives the answer, but it's not sure this is right or not, right? So you have to, the answer is just H, Eric says, capital H. And no X, X disappeared. Okay, let me show you, okay? So the numerator, X plus H squared, okay, will be X squared plus 2XH plus H squared, and then minus X squared, right? Okay, so X squared is gone. So now you get 2XH plus H squared of H. Can we simplify a little bit? I think in the last class we did the so-called factor polynomials, right? So the numerator, you can take XH out, right? So HH cancelled out, you get 2X plus H. So 2X is still there, Eric. You cannot delete the 2X. Right? Right, so for practice, I want to do the next one. This is a problem shows up in calculus, but if you do not know how to simplify it, you're not going to get correct answer. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to simplify 4 plus H squared minus H. Okay, minus yeah, let's say minus 16. Okay. Divide by H. Okay, please do this. All right, Ethan, great. You're back. Gracia, oh, Gracia. Gracia. Nice to see you. What do you got? H plus 8. Okay, many students got H plus 8. All right, so you will get 16 plus twice of that 8H plus H squared minus 16 of H. Okay, so 16 canceled out, and that is going to be 8H plus H squared of H. So you have to take H out. 8 plus H, then cancelled. So answer is 8 plus H. Now let's understand this expression. This expression and this H, right? This complete expression, let me check this. This one is 8 plus H. You see, this complete expression can be simplified to 8 plus H. And then it clearly, when H is getting smaller and smaller, this expression is getting close to 8. Okay, it's getting close to 8. So this is a concept of limit. Okay, so we were trying to understand what what is a value, which value it approaches when h approaches 0. Okay, if you look at the expression on the left-hand side, and the h is in the denominator, so if h is getting smaller and smaller, it looks like, this fraction is getting larger and larger. Actually, it's not, because the numerator is also getting smaller and smaller. So after you simplify, this complicated expression is just 80 plus h. So when h is sufficient small, the term on the right-hand side is sufficient close to 8. And this is the concept of this is a concept of a limit. So let's do one more problem, last step, okay? Simplify this. 1 over 1 minus 1 over 1 minus x. Well, okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do this, okay? I'm gonna show you how to do it. So step by step, okay, this giant fraction. The first one you have to do is 1 minus 1 of x will be over this, right? Oops. Okay, so the first step, okay, then you simplify it. 1 over this way you turn upside down, right? Then you combine those two together. Okay, you combine those two together. How do you do that? You make them to have a common denominator. Okay. Then you will get an x minus 1 minus x. And we will run out of time, so let them finish it. And then this x cancels with that x. So you will get negative 1 over x minus 1. Since this is in the denominator, so I can put a negative sign here and turn this upside down. So it'll be x minus 1 over 1. And then finally, the answer will be negative x minus 1. That's 1 minus x. Wow. See, this very giant fraction can be simplified to 1 minus x. Okay? If you be careful, step by step, and eventually you will get this simple form. It's 1 minus x.